think part of the reason why my final tribals have been so unbelievably heated in the past is because I send people Trisha's jury speech as an example of what you're able to do during your jury speech.
He's going to be in my background tonight during the final tribal. That very scene. But no, other than that, Richie, I think you did play a pretty truthful game. Unfortunately, no one believed you.
Yeah, I think the one person I was least truthful with was Ian.
You're not the only one.
That's because I just didn't think I could trust you after you messaged the whole group chat. I was like,
so funny.
That was so funny.
The first tribal council, none of you guys were on my tribe, but I also like typed in like, hey, I'm voting for this person, like it totally by accident and just not knowing how Zoom worked at all. Yeah, not great.
Lisa, since you're here and your phone might die, I have a few questions while I can't.
Okay.
And Ian's here too, so it's perfect. First of all, good move. Secondly, what was the extent of you and Ian's relationship, and how did you know we were gunning for you that tribal?
Ian was on my tribe at the beginning, and I didn't know if I could trust him at first.
Again, you're not the only one.
And Lucy knew a lot of stuff that I didn't. I didn't know that she was gonna play her idol on me.
Oh, you didn't?
I did not know that at all.
But Robbie, here's the thing. I didn't know that you were getting votes. I thought it was 50-50, Lisa, Kath. So yeah. I was like, oh, Lisa, like playing idol, hoping that Kath would go.
And Robbie, I was so torn to decide who to vote for that time. Like, it was like a last minute thing.
Who was it between?
It might have been Matt even, because Lucy and I weren't sure if we could trust Matt at that time.
I love Matt. He hasn't gotten this. Nobody's voted for him yet.
That's impressive. And I will say he was a name we were throwing out like right after the merge.
But the problem is he's kind of screwed because I don't see the other three breaking until they have to.
The plan for me and Matt was to get into the final two. I knew I don't mind losing. Like, Matt, you can win. I don't.
Renee!
I was gonna let everything go for him.
Huh.
Not by a freaking dice roll.
Yeah.
That says something about Matt, though.
Yeah.
I feel like Lena's been safe every single vote. Like, whether it's immunity or, like, idols. Like, I don't think I think she would have gone home, like, 20,000 times because she's always getting votes. But she's always safe.
For me, Lena was the person that I talked to the most. But then I think she just got, like, put under Kath's spell or something, because once she got put on that tribe with Kath, like, it was not, like, I couldn't really get through to her.
She was doing a lot more behind the scenes than we all thought. I have seen firsthand Lena come up with plans, but let Kath be the one that seems to be the one that executes it. So to me, Lena used Kath as a shield. And I think it's really worked, but I need Lena to own her game and own her moves if she makes it to the final two.
She seems like the kind of person who was doing a lot behind the scenes. Like, I could tell, even at the beginning of the game, that she was doing a lot.
She probably loves that it's chaos, Kath.
I backstabbed her the entire time. And if she does make it to the final two and it's her versus Kath or her versus Vince, Robbie, you definitely advocated for her enough for me to, think about her as the winner.
Just in our last couple minutes, what about Kath?
I cannot have her win at any cost. If any,
I need her to win. I need her to win.
No.
I feel both of those ways at once, actually.
From the first minute that I saw Kath on the Zoom, I knew that she was going to be such a big threat. Just the way that she was so loud and like boisterous. And I was like, oh no, it's going to be her game and I can't have it happen. And I let it happen. It's her game. Like, and there's no other way to put that.
Too. I did too when I was in her alliance. I trusted her I followed her lead, and I knew in my heart I shouldn't have, but I did.
I think if she gets to the end, I have to vote for her because of, how she's played.
Like, if it's Kath and Lena, I'm going to be really, really at a tough spot. If Kath turns on Lena, I might be a bitter ass jury member. I don't know. It really does depend. Like, if Kath has something to do with Lena going home, like, that's, like, that will hurt. That will sting. But Kath has played such an outward game and is still in the final four.
We had a challenge that was like superlatives, like who's the most this, who's the most that. Like, funniest person, Kath won that. Like, hardest player, Kath won that. Like, this, that, whatever. Like, who deserves to win? Kath. And it's like, I tried to tell like Vince, I'm like, yo, like everybody likes Kath. Like, vote her off. Like, you see it, and they didn't do it. So it's like she has him like fucking in her pocket. If I had my way, I would have went with Vince in the end because like I like Vince a lot. I think he's a good guy. I don't think he's done a whole lot right now, but who knows? There's still 2 tribals left. So
If it's Vince and
fingers
Matt,
crossed.
it's a toss up for me. I don't really know anything about Matt's gameplay.
I think Matt's only chance to win is if he gets to the end with Vince.
All right, everybody. Well, we do have a lot to get through, so
I'm
let's
not ready.
let's do it. Y'all are pooping your pants with suspense and nervousness. I can see it. I'm pooping my pants with excitement, and I love it. All right, so for this challenge, I need everybody's hands. You're gonna be showing me your hands for a prolonged period of time, so get comfy with them. No need to if you don't want to, or if you want to assert your dominance, go ahead, do it. For this challenge, I have typed into Google the phrase "how to survive a," and then many different things pop up underneath for suggestions of where it could go. I did this in incognito mode to make sure we're getting the most objective suggestions possible. We're going to go one by one with each of you, and you're going to say out loud, you're going to try and guess one of the suggestions that pops up. Since this is final 4, I'm going to go around 4 times. You're going to get 4 chances. And on your turn, you're going to say out loud to everybody what your guess is. I will not tell you if it's right or wrong until the very end. You can guess what other people have guessed if you think it's a good idea and they probably got a point. Whoever has the most points at the end will win immunity, or whoever ties, we will do a tiebreaker. All right, I'm just going to go off of how Zoom organized y'all on my screen. We're going to go Vins, Lena, Kath, Matt. How to survive a... Vins, what is your first guess?
Tornado.
Your tone is so funny.
Tornado.
They're serious. Don't joke about
No,
them.
I know.
Lena, it is your turn.
Pandemic.
Kath.
Car crash.
All right, Matt.
Zombie apocalypse.
Vins, it's your turn again.
Earthquake. They're serious. Don't joke about them. Health one.
All right, Lena.
Tsunami.
All right, Kath.
How to survive a pandemic.
And Matt.
I'm not happy about this one, but how to survive a school shooting.
This is now round 3.
Okay, how to
Vins
survive
on
a
round
pandemic.
3. And you want to say how to survive a pandemic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And Lena.
Tornado. That was a good one.
Yeah, I'll say tornado too.
Okay, Matt.
The one that I liked was tsunami.
Can I wave mine to the end?
No.
No.
I had to go first 3 rounds.
That is a good point. I didn't take that into account. Let's do this last round in reverse.
Okay.
Matt,
Cool.
Wait,
final round. What is your guess?
I'm gonna buck the trend a little bit and say breakup.
I'll
Okay.
take breakup too, or heartbreak.
Okay. All right, Lena.
How to survive middle school.
Okay.
And finally, Vince.
How to survive a breakup.
Okay. All right. As it stands, we have a tie
Oh, God.
between Lena
Everyone. Oh,
and Matt. Let's clear the air on what the correct answers are.
Yeah.
Yes, tsunami and tornado are correct.
middle school was not correct.
Middle school is not correct. Matt, zombie apocalypse was correct. I won't tell you any of the others, just the ones that you guys got right. So to review, zombie apocalypse, tsunami, tornado, that's it, are off the board. So Lena, let's have you go first. And if you can get a point and then Matt doesn't, you win immunity. If both of you get a point, then we'll do another tiebreaker, but starting with Matt. We'll go back and forth, back and forth. All right, Lena, what's your guess?
How to survive an explosion.
Okay. And Matt?
I'm going to say how to survive a shark attack.
You both got correct answers.
Oh my God.
All right, Matt, it's your turn first.
It is my turn. I'm gonna say plane crash.
Okay.
because you didn't tell us if Vin's or Kath answers were right. I think earthquake is gonna be one of them. So I'm gonna go with earthquake.
Okay. You're both incorrect. Lena, you're gonna go
Yes.
first this time.
Okay. How to survive a power outage.
And Matt?
Nuclear bomb
Oh.
or nuclear explosion.
Does it count as explosion?
That was
Oh,
it.
the issue that Lena got a point for explosion when it was nuclear blast.
When it was nuclear bomb.
But I think you should just count Matt's as already being used.
Yeah,
Because if you had made that distinction before, then he would be like, oh, then I can't.
you're right. You're right. All right, so we'll do another tie round. I apologize, Matt. Sorry about that. Matt's gonna go first on this next tie round. Sorry, Lena.
Bear attack.
Lena, you win immunity. Bear attack is correct. All right, Lena, congratulations. You have a guaranteed spot in the final three. Let's give y'all 5 minutes till the next tribal council. I'll start inviting the jury in as well. Thanks for hanging in there, y'all.
That was a toughie. Oh my goodness.
I thought I was gonna shit on my chair.
My heart
Well-
rate is 139 right now.
For a second, I thought he was gonna give us double
I'm in the fat
immunity
burning zone, baby.
because we just kept going. But
Yeah, I was.
It's so
That's what I thought
unrealistic
too.
for a
When he
Final
paused, I
Four.
was like, "Is
Yeah.
double immunity gonna come into play?" Can't believe all the jury's gonna be here.
I know it's gonna be like a weird family reunion.
Welcome to the final four tribal council. First things first, Lena, congratulations on winning immunity, a guaranteed spot in the final three. I really want to talk to you all about that, but I need to address Matt. Matt had a insane tiebreaker run with Lena.
It was definitely tough. Because I knew what the stakes were. I knew this was I win immunity or I go home. Lena's been the toughest immunity challenge competitor this entire game. By far the most immunity victories of anybody. Yeah, to come that close and then come up short is definitely tough.
You knew that it was either going to be you or Ian last time. Do we even have to vote? Is it going to be you, Matt?
If they want to write my name down, they can write my name down. And it hasn't, I haven't even asked, and they haven't asked me because we haven't needed to. I think this was something we all knew, and in knowing that, I made my peace with it. The story of this season has been the story of this trio, and in fact, maybe it'd be nice to not vote so I could remain the only player in the whole game to never have their name written down. That's all I'm gonna say on that.
It's tough, Matt, and we'll see how this goes. Lena, you won immunity. You are definitely safe. You know what this feeling feels like from many times before. Is this tribal any different? How does this one feel?
This one was definitely a very important one. And there have been immunity challenges in the past where I knew if I didn't win, I was like number one target. So I was very fortunate in those ones. But compared to this one where I don't feel like I would have gone home if I lost this one, that felt a little nicer. I feel like I just have more support from the people that are in the game. That was a tough game, and Matt and I both had very good answers each round. And
It's true.
I just wanted to address this because I just think it's important for people to hear. But when Matt says he reaches out, the messages I have from Matt are like, "What's up?" or "Happy finale day." It's never been I don't think you've ever showed interest in me at talking at all in this game. I've tried to talk to you. I've literally said, "Let's talk shop," and you're like, "Okay," and then nothing. But so when he says he's reaching out, it's like for the memes. I don't think there's anything behind it, at least with me. I don't know how it's been with other people, but
yeah, and that is true. And I'm not.
Yeah.
There's no point in me
Yeah.
pandering to a jury at this point. I'm not in the final, but I will, and the rest of the jury knows. Unfortunately, I think that you were an outlier in that we weren't talking very much. I do. I think most of this jury knows this is always what it was going to have to come down to.
I'd like to step on that toe right now because I don't think that it was always going to be the three of us, to be very, very clear. Yes, Vince, Lena, and I have a good alliance, but there are other alliances in this game that existed, and it was never set in stone that we were gonna like exist as a three. So this wasn't easy.
I don't think anyone focuses on how we got to this three, because Kath and I were on a starting alliance or a starting team. We got to know each other. We said, we'll see what happens after the swap, whatever. I get to the swap. It's me, Matt, Renee, Lucy. I reach out to Matt and Renee as a two. I said, I'd like to work with you guys, but we never lost immunity, so we never had to worry about it. But I did genuinely want to work with all three of them going into the merge. So it's not like we all started and we came to this game and said, oh my God, I just have this otherworldly connection with you. Let's fucking do it. Let's go to the end. Let's trust each other 100%, implicitly, whatever. It just naturally formed. I know the narrative is we ran this game. It felt like we were on the bottom until literally last session.
This group of three is so strong because no one else wanted to work with us. So why would we flip on each other for you guys who didn't want us from the beginning?
I think I'm just going to open up the voting booth, bring you all in one by one. We'll see who becomes the 8th member of our jury very soon. Good luck to you all. Can't vote for Lena.
Yeah, no, I said everything I needed to say out in front of everyone. But yeah, my vote is for Matt.
Like Matt said, it's no surprise who I'm going to be voting for. I will say, if Matt won, I was going to vote Lena, and more on that will come sooner. But obviously I can't do that now. I can't switch on any alliance members. Matt, I really did want to work with you after the merge. You left me on red, so this vote is for you, Matt.
Well, I fucking hope nobody slipped on me. I am voting for Matt. You played a really good game, but I think there is a fear that if you were to get to the end, you could win. So I gotta bid you adieu, but you played a great game.
Do I have to write a name down? Can I write my own name down? It's like the only damn name I've known. Actually, you know what? Maybe it's good luck. Because I think every name I've written down so far didn't go home. Here's the 4th place.
All right, everybody. Votes are in. I will read the votes. Once the votes are read, the decision is final, and the person voted out will be asked to the Zoom call immediately. I will put you in the jury, become the 8th member of our jury. Here we go. First vote, Matt. Second vote, Matt. The 8th member of our jury. Matt. Matt, so sorry.
Good game, everybody.
Wow, congratulations on making the final 3.
I'm gonna shit myself.
We're gonna get to our final immunity challenge of this entire game. Basically, what's gonna happen is I'm going to ask each of you to write a short story. What I want this short story to be is if you were like a supervillain or whatever, how would you end the world? If you had an infinite budget, magic, I don't care. How would you end the world? I'm going to call 2 of my friends. We're going to go into a breakout room. I'm going to read each of your stories anonymously to them. They're going to pick their favorite. They're going to have to agree on their favorite. And whoever they pick will win immunity. All right, so I'm going to give you all 15 minutes. Good luck. Hi, judges. Welcome to our final 3 immunity challenge. By the way, the person who came up with the idea for the last challenge that we did is Margot, who is right here. This is Margot and Jaden. Are you ready, judges?
Yes.
Story number 1. It's 2052, and Guy Fieri has announced he's stepping down from his throne as the mayor of Flavortown. The Food Network puts on a search for the next king of the throne. I've been honing my craft in the kitchen, eating at diners, drive-ins, and dives every day for the past 20 years, all for this one moment. I look in the mirror, gelling my freshly cut and bleached hair while I button up my best flame embroidered shirt. I get to the auction, give my pitch, and get one piece of feedback on how I did compared to the mayor. I couldn't tell you two apart. You're hired, said the mayor. Finally, my master plan is in order. I hop into my trademarked red Camaro, now equipped with air travel technology, and travel the world, for no one country can contain my mission. I slowly poison each new location we shoot at with my patented blazing sauce, leaving behind my card so that they can order more once it runs out. What the restaurants and customers don't know is the sauce leads to an insatiable appetite for greasy food, which is so powerful that they could have an urge to create their own diner, drive-in, or dive to push more of my product, thus creating an endless cycle. Once everyone stops working and only runs their own diner, drive-in, or dive, the world is left in an apocalyptic state. No one can create any resources besides my endless, greasy sustenance. My plan has worked. I rise up as their leader. No flavor town can contain me. I reveal myself to be the new and true mayor of Flavor Planet.
Wow.
The end.
Wow.
All right, here we go. Story number 2. The Tale of Lord Sweet Jam's Apocalypse. Oh, God. It says, read like Lord Farquaad from Shrek, please.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to.
Is it just like general British?
I'm gonna tell them, and I'm gonna tell them that's
Not
why we
getting
didn't
paid
win.
enough for this. My name is Lord Sweet Jam, and I am here to jam everything up. A little backstory before I get into my plan. Everyone loved my jam on toast for breakfast. My jam was iconic in all parts, not too sweet, not too fruity. I had much success at all the local bed and breakfasts and bottomless brunches. I became rich. I could have anything and everything I wanted. My little dog Peaches even had her own neon pink convertible. Until the rise of the avocados. Those goddamn green soft things, and they're not even tasty without seasoning. Whoever found out about those things should be killed, because everyone started ordering avocado toast instead of my jam. And not only that, avocados can be added to anything. I envy the avocado maker, but I will get my revenge. I have decided to poison each and every avocado in the country, but the poison isn't what you'd expect. You see, the poison doesn't kill you. It simply gives you horrendous gastrointestinal issues for approximately 2 weeks. These issues, as well as the popularity of the avocado, will strain the bathroom aisle supplies, such as toilet paper, paper towels. You get the picture. People will be cranky, they'll be miserable, and they'll be covered in shit and vomit. Not only that, they'll be dehydrated. They'll be thirsty. While they're all shitting their brains out, I will be contaminating all vulnerable water reserves with a very special everything but the bagel seasoning. Hint, this one has cyanide. Sure, a couple hundreds of people will die drinking it right away before it's reported that the water is no longer good, but I will make sure that those who decide not risk the water have something else to drink, like bottomless mimosas, perfect for a post 2-week gastrointestinal issue brunch, as well as a lovely slice of toast with my famed jam. Now, how do you like them apples? Oh my God, I just saw my question. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, and the final story. Dear future self, if you are reading this, it means your plans have failed. And when I say plans, I mean all 136 of them. You got to get it together. This is world domination we are talking about. Encased in this letter, you will find notes written the day we took Adderall for the first time and actually felt like we were capable of good ideas to take over this godforsaken world. Fret not, we will continue on the path to world domination so we can live it the better way. Possible plans. Plan 1, the Coke and Poke. Step 1, Make the color of Coke cans a different shade of red and let the panic ensue amongst the masses. The chaos will buy me enough time to set up step 2 of the plan. Step 2, assemble another Area 51 raid. This will send government forces back to Nevada and far away from my plan. Step 3, buy a plane ticket, preferably Delta, to Washington, D.C., where I will take over the world. Step 4, take over the Oval Office and board it up, and I will hit the button. Step 5, hit the button, the one that raises the undead and starts the zombie apocalypse, not the button that puts more toothpaste in my Amazon shopping cart. Step 6, await any government personnel and poke their eyes out, thus leaving me safe and sound within the Oval Office. That step is my personal favorite. Plan 2, the other plan, the hungry, hungry hippo. For this plan, I will need a DNA sample of a hungry hippo. With that, via PCR techniques, I can create enough copies of DNA to perform genetic testing. I will need a lab for this though. After that, using genetic sequencing, I will find the location on the hippo that encodes for fearlessness of the undead and turn it off. Then I will put them in the nearest graveyards so that when my undead army arises, they will have their battle animals ready to bring them to the 4 corners of the USA, Maine, Washington State, California, and Georgia. We don't want Florida. Then, oh dear, what is this? I left my note unfinished. The Adderall must have worn off and I bet I got distracted. Okay, sorry, future me. You're going to have to either fill in the blanks or go with plan 1. You got this. There is some Chef Boyardee in the super secret underground stockpile for you, but don't eat too much. We need to save it for the apocalypse. XOXO, your future self. All right, so those are the 3 stories, whatever y'all want to say about them, but I need you both to come to a consensus on what the best one is.
Well, I feel like, first of all, everybody worked really hard, which is nice.
Yeah.
Everybody really put their all into it. My vote is number 1. I feel like that one gave the best plan. Got a little bit convoluted near the middle, but that's okay. Circled back around. Number 2 offended me personally. I like avocado. And number 3, we don't know for sure if they succeeded in their plan. That's my vote, number 1.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think my vote is for number 1 as well. The second one was a little convoluted. Also, the third one, while I enjoyed the change in the narrative structure of it being a note to self, I thought that was fun. But like Margot said, yeah, we're not sure they're successful. So I feel like number 1 is the safest bet.
Okay, great. So to be clear, you both are voting for the Guy Fieri take over the world via mayor of Flavortown route, poison the country into needing Greece eternally. All right, so I'm going to move us back to the main room with the competitors, and I'm going to say the winner of our final immunity challenge is, and then I want you both to say, all right, everybody, it has been a long, hard-fought game. You've competed in many of these challenges, but that all being said, the winner of our final immunity challenge is
Fins.
Congratulations, Vince. You win immunity with a guaranteed spot in the final 2. All right, thank you very much. You judge can leave now.
Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
guys.
Bye, thank you.
Good luck.
Vince, look at you.
Oh,
Congratulations, Vins. You have a guaranteed spot in the final 2. You are going to decide who you would like to bring there. I'll start bringing the jury in soon. All right,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Is it just going to be us for the next couple of minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to let you guys know, Lena, Kath, and I knew each other before this game, and we told each other that we were going to take each other to the end.
Okay.
So I'm going to honor that. I didn't want to cut anyone before it was absolutely necessary. So
No, I'm happy to be a part of the rodeo with you guys.
And I also want to state before it gets like muddled up by like
Yeah.
final tribal that like Lena, you made this game like so fun for me. Like, and I don't want you to think that like I was just like I used you in any way, shape, or form. So I need that to go on record. And these like aren't crocodile tears at all. It's just more of like this was the hard part. Like I didn't want to be close to a lot of people in the game, and you just always showed up and you were always like, let's talk, let's, and I think that all to say is like this isn't like the end of my friendship with you unless like you
Same.
really have issues with me,
No,
but, like
no, you guys are my friends. No,
Yeah, I just
like-
want to mirror what Kat said. I mean, to come into this game and to have someone who I can implicitly trust.
Oh,
I knew I was going in with Kath and we said we're going to be 100% honest, but then to come in and find you is just the cherry on top. I mean, it's something I could
Yeah.
never imagine. And I've said it before kind of in side conversations, but it's like, I can't imagine playing this game without that level of trust. I would have broken down. I mean, it's impossible to do.
I'm not crying because I'm sad. I'm crying because I'm just so happy that we did this. We made it, and it's us three. And no, I'm so happy that you guys knew each other before. Like, there's no hard feelings about anything at all. This was the best way to go out. So that's what makes me happy. Not getting voted out without an idol.
Right.
That would have sucked. So this I'm okay with.
Yeah, I could not believe it.
Okay, we can be done now.
Okay.
Oh, hide your tears, Kat. They can't know. Oh, no, I love you guys. It's okay.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back, my jury. Vince, congratulations on winning immunity. Of course, an immunity win at this stage in the game is incredible. You have a guaranteed spot in the final two, but how worried are you about having to cut off one of two people that have been in a close alliance?
Well, we already talked about it in the thing, and I think the recording's there, but I'll just catch everyone up. So Kath and I actually knew each other going into this game. She's the only, so when I said a friend of a friend told me to play this game, it was Kath, who's a friend of a friend. I just left that part out. So we said we're going in 100% honest throughout the entire thing. We want to go to the end with each other. And so I told Lena that before, once we found out that I won immunity.
You're saying you're taking Kath to the final two.
Yeah.
Are you worried that a decision like that would then automatically put Lena in a place to just vote for Kath? Do you think
No, because I trust Lena that we all see. I mean, one of us is going to cut each other, and I don't, even if I was the one cut by whoever won immunity, it was going to be who played the game and who can justify the moves that they made. So I trust that Lena can do the same thing.
Okay. Lena, how do you feel about the Vin's speaking, being upfront about where his vote is going for this final tribal?
That was the best possible way to get out of this game. Like, I think we've all been very upfront with each other this entire time that we've been very close to each other. So, I just appreciated Vin's telling me that. Yeah, that's just the best way I could have left this game, I think.
Kath, although, the pen hasn't hit the parchment, it seems like you are going to be our other finalist. How does it feel going into that?
Very
Do you feel
weird.
like- yeah.
Just because I started lighting fireworks off during tribal councils, I sure as hell did not think it would be like this. So it's weird. It's very weird.
Well, this has been an absolutely incredible season. It's been really interesting getting to know all of you all in your journeys through this game. Vince, I'll see you in the voting booth.
Okay. I mean, there's not much more to say. I came into this kind of knowing Kath. I got to know her better. She's a genuine friend now. And I created another friendship with Lena that's just as genuine. So as tough as this is, I will be voting.
All right, everybody, the vote is in. Ninth and final member of our jury is indeed Lena.
What? Who did this?
Lena. Join the jury. Please welcome back Jaden and Margot, our judges for the final 3 immunity challenge. Please welcome Matthew, the winner of the Zoom Survivor Season 4, Agents of Chaos. Here to observe final tribal. Anybody know where Lisa is? Anybody?
Wisconsin.
Also, Len, I just want to say welcome to Ponderosa, baby.
Right. Our fallen angel. That's what they call it.
Fallen angel.
Jaden can relate. Jaden was the fallen angel in his season. All right. After a long, hard-fought season, as is every season, we find ourselves with the final two, but it's not over yet. We're gonna have Kath and Vince make opening statements. Would either of you like to go first?
Go first.
Great. Thank you, Vince.
Okay. So we all know that Survivor is about three aspects: outwit, outplay, and outlast. Outplay, I won one individual meeting up until tonight, then I won my second at the final moment when it really counted. But my gameplay more revolved around outwitting. I knew going into this game that there are two types of players: someone who is loud, boastful, and has a target on their back, and someone who hides behind that shield and is the strategy of the alliance. And that was my main focus, my main goal for our alliance. I broke down our strategy into who to target and win, and controlling the information that flowed throughout the game. So the main thing I controlled, obviously, was that Kath and I knew each other going into this. I knew that by being able to hide this information, I was able to work my way into other alliances, gain some information, and protect Kath up until my hand was forced by a great idol play. From there, I knew that I had to shift my direction, and then I'm focused more on a gameplay that's just like Sophie in Survivor South Pacific. Sophie played a very strategic game, and she carried Coach to the end. So it just so happens that Kath loves Coach just as much as I love Sophie. So unfortunately, Kath, you were my coach. I knew that you could make relationships where I couldn't. And then once you had to backstab those people, then I could focus on my gameplay the entire time, which led us to where we are now, the outlast portion of it. Just being honest with everyone, we all know we made it to the final three because of luck. Lena found 1,000 idols, we found other advantages, but it was about connecting those moments of luck between those with strategy, and that's where I came in. It was about when to use our advantages, who to use them on, and then who to vote out once we use those advantages. I understand that the perception may be that I didn't play a big flashy game and I didn't play the best game here, but I think the reality is on the backside, I really took this game in the fist of my hand and really led us to the end.
Thank you, Vince. Please welcome Anna, the winner of Zoom Survivor Season 1, Skid Kids versus Massholes. And please welcome Kenter, the winner of Zoom Survivor Season 2, Icons versus Legends. Alrighty, Kath, with your opening statement, please.
No, what a statement to follow up. All right, hi everyone. I'm Kath. You know me from this season of Survivor. So walking into this game, I was connected to Ethan through my friend Finley. She went to Skidmore. She said, "You're binging Survivor like a crazy woman. You should be on Zoom Survivor." I said, "Why the hell not?" I also got intel from Finley that many of the people playing Survivor would either be attending Skidmore or be Lexington, Massachusetts adjacent. I am from Boston. I'm no longer in Boston. So walking into this game, I already knew I had a target on my back before the game began. That's when I talked to Vince and I said, "You should join this game with me. You should work with me." So from day one, I had an alliance. And from day one, I started scheming, breaking up these bigger alliances. From my very first vote, getting out Eliza, I knew that she was close with Lucy. I saw them wave to each other on Zoom. So I wanted her out. Then it went into voting off Megan when I re-entered a tribe during the merge where I was the only person from my first tribe. And I had to get in quick because it was me, Philip, Robbie, Lena, and Megan. I knew Megan was a big flashy player. She had a big personality. She was a strong competitor. And I had to make alliances quick. So that's what I did. I became super close with Robbie. I became close with Lena. And I even forced Philip to play his alliance before the merge. So once we merge, we go in. There are a couple of alliances forming, like Renee and the boys, Lexington, all of that good stuff that's happening. And Robbie gave me intel that Richie is a dirty player because Richie blindsided Robbie at another point in a different Survivor game. So because Robbie and I are working together, I was like, shit, let's get out Richie too. So we got out Richie. And then after that, that is when my alliance flipped. So I was at the bottom. I felt like I was at the bottom, but I decided to have a little bit more fun because once Vince found his immunity idol at the beginning of the game, he said, I will play it on either of us to take us to the end. So I got a little flashy. I got a little big. I pushed some buttons and saw what I could do. I won immunities. I was super flashing tribal council and I got people to draw rocks for me and Ian, which is crazy to me that that was even a thing. And I got to the final two, and I acknowledge fully that I have blood on my hands, but I also acknowledge that this is Survivor. So I'm willing to stand up for my actions. I'm willing to answer any questions you throw at me with honesty. And yeah, I'm ready to get to it.
Thank you both. Great opening statements from you both. Philip, you now have a moment to address the final two, say anything you like to them, ask a question, whatever you want, or even the jury if you want to talk to them too. But you have some time now.
All right. Well, Kathy, you and I got thrown into a group together where we were the only two that had not been in a tribe together. And I tried to make an alliance with you because I know that it was our only way out to make an alliance together. And I heard later that you had an alliance with Robbie and Lena, and we're just kind of choosing between me and Megan who to vote out first. You did convince me to use my advantage before I had to. And then you voted me off a round later. So what I thought was a close alliance where I could get some honesty from you and Robbie, I don't really feel like you were honest with me at any point in that process. Tell me why you deserve my vote.
Okay, Philip. So after the merge, me, you, Robbie, we worked with you. We got Megan off. We were Gucci. You drop Robbie into a group with Matt, Renee, and Richie. Renee and the boys. I'm going to call out that alliance again. It was a chaotic alliance, but you know, that's my personal take. I was not dropped in that. I tried to reach out to you. You gave me very little information. I was like, okay, Philip totally just rode this out to the merge, which like, no problem. That's the game, you know? It's like riding a
Yeah,
line.
I stopped being truthful with you because you seemed like you weren't being truthful with me.
But I do recall talking to Robbie and saying, hey, what's going on? And he was like, well, Philip dropped me into this alliance. And I was like, well, I guess he doesn't want to work with me anymore. And I messaged you and you're like, wow, the merge. And I was like, okay, what's going on? What's kicking? And then I heard that, you know, somebody was out to get Lena. And I was like, all right, we got to get out Philip. And to be honest with you, you were a little bit of a, you're hard to pin down, I think, when we were in the second alliance or the second tribe together. And that was a big issue for my game. I needed somebody that I could read pretty clear, and you weren't that for me anymore.
Okay, thanks. Hey, Vince.
Hey, Philip.
How you doing?
My heart rate,
Thanks,
I
Vince.
just got a Fitbit a couple days ago. My heart rate is literally through the roof. It was at a 159 before. I might die, but I died playing Survivor, so. Yeah.
Cool, thanks, Vince.
Thanks, Phil.
That's all I got.
Thank you, Philip. Richie.
Hey guys, congrats on doing it. This is my last chance to like stir up any drama, so I'm gonna play my role as a jury member. Quick rapid fire questions. I just need like one name or a yes or no from each of you. If you had to vote off one member of the jury, who would you vote off?
Ian.
Robbie.
Cool. Who is your like strategic like Survivor player that you look up to that you're trying to embody in this game?
I would say Tyson, but I feel like I played a Boston Rob game.
I said it before and I'll double down as Sophie.
Cool. Did you guys watch Ethan's other seasons? Like, did you do your homework?
Vince did it for me.
Yeah, I watched the season before all the way through, and then I looked at the final tribal at the season before that.
Cool. So those are my rapid fires. I did only have 3, but I think it's interesting that Kath, you said you didn't watch Ethan's other seasons and Vince did, because I think that I can see that in my head, because in a lot of Ethan's past seasons, there's been very, very bitter juries, like everyone going like getting really heated during these discussions. So I think Vince, props to you for like playing that and like staying very cool and neutral throughout the game. And Kath, I want to give props to you. Honestly, you like were the downfall of my game. I'll hand it to you. Like you split up the Bow Wow 5 that I was like riding with really hard. You clocked the Lexington Alliance. You got Lena and Robbie to turn against me, who are 2 people who I knew before the game, and I was planning on staying loyal to. So I think that's pretty cool. You have a great mist. So I was really gooped and gagged when you blindsided me. So props. And then Vince, like I said, props to you for just staying cool and neutral and not really stepping on too many toes throughout the game. All right, that's all I had. Congrats again, you guys. You did it. Like, go off. May the best player win. Peace and love.
Thanks, Richie.
Thank you, Richie. Appreciate it. All right, Robbie.
Congrats to both of you. This is amazing. This was so much fun, and you guys must be like so emotional right now, but I just want you to remember to take a breath and like have fun with this final tribal, because after this, who knows? So enjoy and relish in this moment. But Vince, I started talking to you a lot because of Kath. She put her trust in you fully, more than I knew from the get-go. And I really only talked to you socially, not much about strategy, but I enjoyed talking to you socially. Was your social game strategy, or were you genuinely making those connections and on a personal level, or was it jury management?
No, it was all genuine. I mean, and I can bring it out to Renee. I listened to her music and said I enjoyed it because I did. I talked to Lena. Lena and I have started Fitbit contests because I got a Fitbit because of Lena. Ian, we talked about school. Lucy, Lisa, I tried to reach out to you. Matt, I said I want to play D&D with you, and I do. And anyone can join D&D. Robbie, it's kind of, it took me aback a little bit because I was like, did I really play a social game? Because I thought that was my biggest weakness. Is because honestly, I didn't think I played a great social game, but the social interactions I did have, those were all genuine. And I do genuinely care about everyone in this game.
And I think that came through. I just wanted to clarify. My second question for you, Vin, sorry. Did you know about Vibe City?
No, I don't know what that is.
All right, then we'll go to Kath. Hi, Kath.
Hi.
So Vin's didn't know about Vibe City, and was that a strategic? Do you want to tell everyone what Vibe City was?
Yeah, sure. So Vibe City was me, Lena, and Robbie. I had an alliance with them.
To the end?
Robbie, yes, I made a promise to Robbie that I was gonna, take him to the end. But when Vince and I separated from our first tribe, we agreed that we could talk and say anything to anyone. One could even call it an open relationship of sorts, to help us get to the end. So, yeah.
It's funny because I feel a little bit like Trish and think you are acting a little bit like Tony at this moment, and we're final tribal. Saying anything to anyone really is disheartening, because to me, I wasn't just anyone to you. I followed your lead on a lot of things that I really shouldn't have and didn't want to. We voted out Megan over Phil. I didn't want to do that. We voted Richie over Lisa. I did not want to do that. I didn't want to trust Ian. I did because of you. He got me out in the end. So now I feel like my game faltered following you and trusting you, when in reality, our final 2 and final 3 with Lena wasn't even a thing in reality.
When I started this game and I started it with Vince, I knew it was Survivor. I have like severe anxiety. So I came in here with like a very thick skin. I still consider you a friend. And this is where it gets murky, and I understand it. This is just the game of Survivor. I will fully admit that what I did to you for Vibe City was not honorable to our friendship outside of the game. However, this was a part of my strategy. I was not with Vince moving forward. I had no idea who I could trust. From Kath to Robbie outside of Survivor, I deeply apologize for deceiving you in that way. But for me in the game, I had to do it to further myself in the game.
Mm-hmm.
I just couldn't see it any other way.
When were you going to cut me?
I was going to cut you till like final 4.
Okay.
I wanted it to be me, you, Vince, and Lena. That was my final four.
I appreciate your honesty and your apology on a game level. No hard feelings. And that's why, since we did have such a connection, that's why personally it stung a little bit. Game wise, totally understood. Thank you. That's all. I'm
Well
good.
said, Robbie.
Yeah.
All right. Lisa is clicking the button to join. I'll have her go after Lucy. Lucy, if you don't mind taking the stand here, you're up next.
Congrats. I'm very impressed with both of your games, and it was really fun to watch you play. So I'm excited to ask some questions. I will ask Vin's a question first. I'm wondering, what was your favorite move or biggest move that you felt like you did this game?
I think the biggest move is pretty obvious. It was saving Kath with my idol. And luckily we were talking beforehand. You were a little cryptic. You just said you wanted to make a big move. So I was kind of prepared for everything. And I knew that my gameplay revolved a lot around protecting Kath. And I think it's my proudest moment because I think up until that moment, no one really knew how close of a bond Kath and I had. And I really relished that and keeping that close, tight to my chest, because I wanted, like I said, I wanted to control the information. And so unfortunately you pushed my hand, but I think it's, at the end of the day, it was a good move by you. And I'm just glad that I could kind of get in on it with my idol as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think that I think you're totally right. I did not expect that at all from you. And I think that up until then, you seemed like a super like neutral player. So I think you did that really well. Who on the jury played the best game to you? Like, why do you think?
I think I was most impressed with Lena because, yeah, I understand that she found a lot of idols, but she was able to use those idols successfully. And it could be because we were able to share information with her. She was able to gather information. But just going into this, I knew that I wanted to take Kath to the end for personal reasons, but also it was in my best interest because Lena played such a good game and was able to really be the forefront and the, you know, the idol sniffing dog, whatever superpower she has was the forefront of the luck. It was the driving force of the luck that brought us here to the final threes, because without all those idols advantages, whatever it might be, and yeah, Kath had a couple, I had a couple, we all brought something to the table, but those were big moves in her pocket and literally idols in her pocket that I think really propelled her to the front of our three.
Totally. Thanks, Vince. Okay, Kath, I have a few questions for you. You pride yourself on stepping on some toes near the end. It was very fun to watch. And I think it was great. And I'm wondering how much of your role with that was part of your gameplay and how much was like your true feelings going into tribals.
So I want to say it was kind of 50-50 because I feel like it was very weird. I think there was something in my ego that was like, all right, we're going to be tight-lipped at the beginning. Like I felt like I was in control of the game. I didn't say anything. And then once Ian flipped on us, I was like, I'm stressed. Like this isn't fun anymore for me. And I was like, all right, you're a control freak, Kath, like loosen the fuck up. So that's what I did. I was like, I might as well just have fun at tribal and kind of like pop off a couple of fireworks. I didn't even realize until after it was done that it could have been a strategy, like to really stir shit up, air shit out. And I really wanted it to be a fun time. But I think after the first times I did it, that's when I got immunity twice, which shocked me. I was like, I'm going to get voted out for making a big scene. And it was really shocking because every time I came back to tribal, I was like, I wonder how much more I can push here. And I just thought I'd be off next, but I was having a fun time. So I'm very shocked that I'm here actually because of like stirring the pot at tribal. But yeah, I think it was 50-50.
Okay. Do you regret anything you did?
Yeah, I do. I regret voting off Richie. And I said that to Robbie after it happened. It's hard when, you know, you see the end of the road and I'm like, okay, you know, Richie is a strong player. Like, I don't think that it could have been Richie and I sitting at the end at that point in the game. So I knew at some point, you know, he needed to go. But I think after that blindside and like actually seeing him leave really upset, I was like, oh, I don't like this feeling at all.
Cool. Thank you. I'm good, Ethan.
Thank you, Lucy. All right, Lisa. Thanks for making it. You're up.
Hey, everyone. just want to say congratulations to both of the finalists and to everyone else on the great game you played. It's been a pleasure to watch, also kind of way more intense than I think a lot of us anticipated. Okay, so I'm going to go to Vince. I think we had kind of been towing the line between an alliance like the whole game. At least that's kind of how it felt on my end. But I knew that you were in with like the big three. What was your like perception of me in this game?
My perception was that I genuinely wanted to work with you, and it just kind of went into especially on our first tribe, it was like messaging everyone and seeing kind of what I got back. And I think I came to realize that you are more of a texter versus going on Discord all the time. So I just took that like non-reciprocation on Discord as like, oh my God, she hates me. Oh my God, she doesn't want to work with me. So I just kind of went with, and then Ian was the one who was more vocal on our initial tribe. So then I kind of went with that. And it was just, so my perception wasn't ever, I don't want to work with Lisa. It was like, I'll work with, and it kind of was like, I'll work with anyone who reaches out to me, but I just didn't get that from you. So I didn't know if I was supposed to move forward or not, or how much I could trust you. It was just a lot of me not taking initiative and us not getting that connection.
Yeah, that was my feeling as well. Kath, you played a rockin' game. That was, as Lucy said, very fun to watch. I don't think we had much interaction, good or bad. I knew you were a big player, and I knew your ball was in a lot of different courts. So did you feel like I was someone that could be trusted, or what were your thoughts about me?
I feel like I mentioned this a lot in tribals about like the differences between, doing Zoom Survivor versus like what you see on TV. And Zoom Survivor, it's all about like texting, communicating. And I felt that for my game, it was always between the people, like the devils I know versus the devils I don't know. Like, where could I put my trust there? And it was because you didn't give me a lot, it was really hard to strategize with you or to know. But granted, I think out of everyone here, we spoke the least on Discord. It's interesting because after like gameplays, like voting people off and like seeing, having them gone, you think back and you're like, oh, how different would my game be if I played with this person? Because I had heard that you were, a big threat from past seasons that you had played. So that was on my radar, and that was something I stored away. And then once I got word that you, Richie, Lucy, and Matt had worked together or were planning on working together, I needed to break that up. So it was no hard feelings on my end.
Same, yeah. Okay, one more question for both of you. What would winning this season of Survivor mean to you? What would that represent for you?
So winning this season of Survivor is an articulation for me about releasing control. In my day-to-day life, I mentioned it earlier, Lisa, but I'll reiterate, I have really bad anxiety. I constantly am worried about what comes next. I've been in abusive situations in my career, in my family, in past relationships. And I have never really felt strong or capable at times, which might come as a big shock because I came in this big bubbly personality, but that's what lurks in my day-to-day underneath. And once I realized that this game could be more fun, not having control, I think for me, I didn't care if I would go home after having fun, like and popping off during tribal. So that was an exercise of a muscle that I haven't exercised in my day-to-day life. And actually, to be transparent, I have a day job. So if I were to win this money, I would actually be donating it in its entirety to the hospice that took care of my grandfather when he was passing. I made mention in the main group chat before this game began that I had a family member who passed away, and my grandfather was my best friend. I have no idea if I would still be here if it wasn't for him and his involvement in my life. So for utter transparency, that is what this win would mean to me, both personally and where the winning money would go.
For me, it would be the justification of my interest in who I am as a person. Because I kind of mentioned it before, I feel like I'm a social person once you get to know me, but that middle ground of how do I make these weird like connections? How do I get people to warm up to me? Because I do think I have a good personality, as weird as that sounds. And I do think I'm a funny, nice person once you get to know me, but I don't know how to make that connection. And you know, honestly, after this game, I haven't figured out the magic formula, but it would just be a justification that I was able to go through such a cutthroat game as Survivor and treat everyone with respect and treat everyone with the kindness, most genuine interaction that I can, as well as justification that the love I have for Survivor means something. So I haven't told anyone this besides Kath, and then Lena saw it on my Instagram. Robbie's seen it on my Instagram now, but I watched all 40 seasons of Survivor in 40 days during the pandemic. One right after the other. I did skip 1.5 days, so I had to catch up. It was too much. It was honestly too much, but I just loved it. And it was never a slog. I will say the first couple of seasons kind of sucked because I loved the cool advantages, the cool challenges. And it was just like bow and arrows out in the freaking swamp doing whatever. That being said, I loved every second of it in its entirety. And just me being able to go from that, just going balls to the walls, watching Survivor every day, to being able to play the game in some form and to have some success for it is just justification that yes, I have weird interests. Yes, I do weird, obscure things like watching that much Survivor in that much time, but it pays off in some form. So that's what it would mean for me. And like Kath, I have a day job. The money isn't what I'm going for. It's not going to make or break my life, just so you know, just to be fully transparent about that. I haven't figured out what I would do with it, but it's not going to make a difference in the grand scheme of things.
Amazing. Thank y'all very much. Alrighty, next up, Renee. Your turn.
Okay, so first off, I do want to start by congratulating the both of you. I will be honest, it's not who I wanted to be in the final two, but you guys deserved it. You outplayed everyone else. So for that, kudos. So I have a question for Vince first. Vince, I just wanted you to tell the group about the behind the scenes. Who did you talk to? Were you able to make any big changes in the game? Just what was your play?
So my play, like I said, was strategizing in the background. So I talked to everyone in some form. And then honestly, at the beginning, I based my alliances off of who I received kind of that feedback, that connection with. So it was Kath in the beginning. And then I went to our merge tribe and I talked to you and Matt the most, and I genuinely wanted to work with you guys. But then once the merge came, I wasn't in the Renee and the boys chat. So I took that as, oh, all that didn't mean anything. And whether or not that was your intention or not, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but that was my perception. So from there, then I reached out to everyone else, saw what I could come back. And then Kath led a lot of the interactions in getting people together. But once I was able to do that, then I focused on controlling the information that I shared with others. So I was in this alliance with Kath and Lena and Robbie and Richie and Ian. I think that's everyone. And I was moving forward with that, but then I was talking to others to see what others were talking about, never telling anyone who I was working with, but I made sure I focused it in a sense of, I'm putting this information out there, but I'm never going to lie to your face. I never told Richie to his face, I'm not going to vote for you when we voted for him. I never told Ian that I hated his guts, whatever. I never told him that, I never said, oh, actually, in the final 5, Matt messaged me and said, please don't vote for me. And honestly, that wasn't my intention. So I told him that to his face. I would not write his name down. I never wanted to lie to someone directly to their face. I always at worst left it up to ambiguity. So from there, my main focus was so the first few tribals after the merge, I let Kath lead the vote for Richie, for Philip, and for Lisa. And then once the flip happened, then I took the reins on figuring out who to vote for, making sure that our target wasn't obvious in case there was an idol. And that was my main strategy in that sense of figuring out how to play around idols, how to play around advantages, and do it successfully.
Awesome, thank you.
Can I piggyback off of that very quickly?
Go ahead.
I totally agree, Vince, that you had a hand in strategizing, you know, once Ian flipped on us. But from my perspective, I felt like it was a push-pull kind of situation. Like I wasn't dormant in calling the shots. I thought it was very much like a push-pull. So I just wanted to put that out
Right.
there.
Sorry, what I meant to say was like you led the push for the first three, and I just kind of let it because I didn't know those people as well as you did. So I trusted you. And then I kind of stepped up to meet you where you were at. So you're right.
So my question for Kath is, were there any feelings that you had during the game from, say, hot topic debates, arguments, pivotal moments, calling Ian a pancake or whatever? Did any of those feelings invest themselves into your personal life? And if they did, how do you plan on separating them in the future? Because like I hold no grudges against anyone that voted for me, and I don't want to see you doing the same. So I guess, are you doing that? And if so, how are you going to combat it?
Yeah. I think for me, I know this is a game, but I've said it in tribal council. It is a very tricky game in the sense of exactly kind of like the conversation I had with Robbie. You know, when Robbie was like, I need clarification, like we were really close. What the fuck happened? It does toe that line. And, you know, when you're watching a season of Survivor, you're like, oh my God, that's sticky. Like I would never do that. And then you do it and you're like, oh fuck. Like, you know, and at the end of the day, sitting here, I hold no grudges. I understand why people wanted to vote for me. Like there were moments where I was like running around like a chicken with its head cut off at tribal council. I get that, like, you know, I would get votes. So I am not just as valid as everyone is who like has emotions towards me, and like I understand them, I respect them. It's a very tricky game, but walking out of this, I hold no grudges.
That's good, because I hope we can work together in the music scene at some point. Also, I do want to make note, I private messaged Kath at one point and I told her that she was the umbrage to my Potter, if anyone gets that. She's just like that villain that you hate. And I love you, Kath, but like for this game, thanks guys. That's all I got, Ethan.
Thank you very much, Renee. All right, Ian.
Hey y'all. First, it's been an honor to play with you guys. I think you two are some really good players. Thank you also for kind of justifying me flipping on you guys, finding out that you guys kind of knew each other in real life. Like that kind of makes me feel a little bit better that I decided to do what I did. That being said, I would, you know, it'd be a fool of me to not pin you two against each other. So, Kath, I'm gonna start with you. Why do you think Vince does not deserve to win?
I don't think Vince deserves to win because I think that although his outwit portion of his explanation of using me as a shield was quite brilliant, I feel like I had to outwit quicker because I made myself a huge fireball of a personality at Tribal. I was literally making these alliances with different people. And if they started talking to each other, I was fucked. I was making risky moves like Project You Have an Idol. One of my whole things, and I did it to you, Lucy, was message random people and say, you have an idol, and see who bit and see if somebody was going to be like, who told you? And Lucy didn't fall for it. But I was just doing like riskier moves and I was kind of like attracting a lot of heat. And I had to work really hard to make sure I could get immunity, to make sure I was protected. And ultimately, Vince played his idol for me. At the point when he did that, if I ever had an idol, I'm not sure if I would have done the same. So I think of that as pretty pivotal. And also drawing rocks, like that's fucking intense. My alliance was so glued to me that they would not fucking flip.
Yeah, I think it's a good answer. I can definitely speak to the, they're glued to you. I wish people would have flipped when I flipped, but it didn't shake out that way. Vin, same question to you. Why do you think Kath does not deserve to win?
I don't think Kath deserves to win because I played the more honorable game. Yes, I did save her a lot, but that was me saving her because I chose to. Because I told Kath from the beginning, I would save you, and that meant everything to me. Everyone I talked to, I never had to go out on a limb and put all these extra incentives, all these extra guarantees to everyone, because that's not the game I wanted to play. I wanted to play it honorably, and I wanted to do the best that I could. I did everything the best that I could for my game, and by honoring or offering all these side alliances, Kath wasn't doing that. Kath wasn't doing what was best interest for her game, because like she admitted, if anything crumbled, if anything went to shit, it was on her.
Yeah, I think something should be said for the way that you kind of handled yourself. Some people can play a big flashy game and say some things, but it takes a lot to not say some things. So I wish you both the best of luck tonight. And Kath, one last question. Do you have a Venmo?
Yeah, I have a Venmo.
I would like you to drop your Venmo in the Discord so I could give you some money just in case you do not win tonight. That way you can make some sort of donation.
That's very nice. Ian.
No problem. Good luck, guys.
Thank you, Ian.
Thank you, Ian. All right. Next up, Matt.
I don't think I need to restate my congratulations to both of you. My respect for the games that you both played definitely reached its peak while I was still in there with you, and I think that final 5 vote was when I finally felt like I could really see it, and I saw the scope of the games that both of you and Lena, that all 3 of you played, and that was sort of the moment when I realized that any one of you 3 would make a brilliant winner, and I'm very excited that we get to see one of you 2 take home that victory tonight. I think my question comes down to this. You 2 from the very start were both the most active messengers that I experienced in this game. And from talking to other people, I think a lot of other people had that experience. As both of you were such avid communicators, sort of heavy Discord users and texters, what did you think sort of the role of that one-to-one communication was in your game specifically? Was it about building relationships? Was it about getting information? Was it about lying to people's faces? Like when you were messaging one-on-one with somebody that wasn't the 3 of you, what was your goal?
For me, it was twofold. Like I said, my strategy was knowing who to take out when, but the other side of it is controlling the information. Yes, I did go into those conversations to get information, but truthfully, none of us trusted each other. It's not like I was going into those and telling people I had an idol. It's not like I was even going into those to dig for idols. I never asked that question. Maybe I threw out, do you know of anything? Do you know of any advantages? Whatever. But for me, it was just to get to know people in a genuine way. Matt, I went to you and Renee a lot because I did genuinely care about you as people. But then I never really felt like we were talking gameplay, and that's fine. It didn't need to be about gameplay. And so that's kind of why we never built a connection.
I would say that my communication on Discord changed throughout the game. I would say at the beginning of the game, when we all started in the original 3 tribes, it was predominantly about getting to know people, getting to know who I could trust. At that point, I was aligned with Vince, but I also was kind of dipping my toes in to see what the other vibes would be. So I started doing that, and I was very active on Discord. And I think that, to your point, Matt, I feel like because of our activity on Discord, we did set the pace in some circumstances of the game. A lot of people who did not respond to me, I was like, that's an issue for my game because I cannot control that kind of person. But moving forward, it was, figuring out how people knew each other, figuring out how people felt about each other. So I think that, like, based on the information that was given to me, I could really suss it out. And based on the people I was working with and putting a lot of my trust into, I could present that information and we could act upon it. And it's really hard to pretend, like, perfect example, you and I, Matt, I feel like we were two ships passing in the night. I reached out and then there was the Renee with the boys lines. I was not included because it was Renee and the boys. If it was Kath in there, it'd be Renee, Kath, and the boys. And that would just be a big issue. But there were many points in the game where I was like, oh, maybe I could try to work with Matt. I don't know. And it would just be kind of like, do I want to put my trust into somebody I don't know and fuck up the control of the votes? I'm not ashamed of my gameplay, though. Again, this is Survivor. And I knew this once I started down this path, it was either go big or go home. So I kept going bigger and I prayed I didn't go home, and I'm still here.
Thank you both. That information is useful to me. And congratulations once again.
Thank you, Matt. And finally, the final person to be voted out in this game, our fallen angel, challenge beast, Lena. Your turn.
Hello. This has been nuts. I gotta say, like, I am kind of bummed that I didn't know you two knew each other. And I kind of just wish you guys sat me down and said, hey son, like, we actually know each other. And like, I am so happy that the three of us worked so hard to get to this point, but I really do kind of wish we had that conversation. So that's just I was feeling kind of sad about that. I feel like you guys are upplaying how much each of you did in this game, though. I think you both made really strong contributions, but we all bounced ideas off of each other. So, Vince, my question for you is, what specifically do you think you brought up in our kind of like group chat? Because I think that it was not just you and Kath being the masterminds.
I think I led the conversation a lot in thinking about what advantages we had and what advantages that other people might have, and always thinking about the non-obvious target to go after. That was my main focus, was always trying to think 3 steps ahead of, if somebody has an idol, how do we play around this? Who can we reach out to try and find out more information? Always trying to think about that. And then we as a group, I brought it to the group, and then we all decided, okay, Vince, you go talk to Matt and Renee. Kath and Lena, go talk to Renee. We all brought that. But I think that's what I brought to the team, was figuring out, yes, you guys brought a lot of advantages, but I think I was able to contribute how best to use those advantages and which point.
Building off of that, I want to add another thing Vince contributed as well. Vince was really being, the honorable player he was very concerned with jury managing. I mean, down to this final vote, figuring out numbers and figuring out how people would vote. And I didn't think about that. Lena, you said it correctly. If I did not have this alliance, I would not be sitting here. So it very much was the three of us making money moves. I would be more of an out of the box thinker in this group chat versus Vince. Vince was very practical. He'd be like, that can't be our plan A. And I'm like, I'm ready to do it right now. Like, let me message everybody and see who has an idol, and I think I was more of a zanier thinker and a little bit more ready to make this fun. But Lena, to be completely transparent with you, I agree with you. I should have told you earlier on about Vince and I knowing each other. Out of the game, Kath, feels like shit. You should have known. You have been here for me. Like, anytime I was like flipping out about something in my personal life, you made time for me. But in the game, Kath was petrified. I mean, I knew that if I told you, I would risk my game. I would risk being seated at the end. And to be honest with you, in Survivor, I have seen so many people come down to the end and get their ass handed to them. And I was prepared for that, because Survivor is not an easy game to win. It is not an honorable fucking game. So the fact that, and maybe this fucks up my whole game, but the fact that Vince is here saying like he is honorable, he got to the end honorably, I don't see it. Everybody has to have a streak of not honorableness in them to get to the end of Survivor. I openly admit I have blood on my hands. I do. And that isn't the real me, but that was my game. And again, I am not ashamed of what I had to do to get to the end.
And Lena, I just want to address your first concern. Is honestly, I didn't know how to have that conversation, and it just kind of led to the end. But honestly, I don't think I could beat you. You
And
did a
I don't
lot.
think I could have beaten you as well. I
You
don't
were
think I
such
could
a
have
strong
done it.
player. But besides my deal with Kath, whatever it is, I was scared shitless of what would happen if you won final immunity, because I knew that you could beat either one of us. And I never knew how to have that conversation because we were all three genuine friends, that it just didn't make sense to kind of buck that until absolutely necessary. And just pray to God the whole time, trying to think of how to tell you. All I could think about is Lena going to hate us? Am I going to lose a genuine friend tonight? And so I hope that you can forgive us. And I understand the situation that you're in, and I'm sorry for putting you in that situation.
I mean, you guys hit it perfectly. So I'm not like mad. I still have had the time of my life. This saved me from a semester of biochem that I just cried in all the time. So it just caught me off guard. So I just wanted to bring it up. But no, that's all I have.
Thank you very much, Lena. All right. Thank you all for your thoughts and your questions and all that for this very interesting and exciting, dynamic final tribal council. The only thing left to do now is vote. I will go into the voting booth, bring you all in one by one. Good luck, Kath and Vince.
I'm a bitter juror. I really am. Kath really bamboozled the shit out of me, that little snake. But I will be a bitter juror, but still respect the best gameplay, and I have to get up and give it up for my girl. I vote for Kath to win Survivor Apocalypse. She deserves it. Good luck, girl.
Hello, my final vote for this season is gonna be for Vince. I like that you were behind the scenes and you were super nice to everyone. I appreciated that. Go Vince.
Such a hard decision to make. Just kidding. She played the best game. She played the most active, exciting game. My vote goes to Kath.
Being the pancake man, it was only fitting that I kind of flip-flopped on this vote a lot tonight. I have to cast my vote for Vince.
Oh my, what a way to finish this. I think Kath played overall a really great game. Even if it wasn't 100% honorable, it's still what got her and him to that spot. Good luck, Kath and Vince. I love you both, but yeah, I'm gonna vote for Kath.
You both played an incredible game. This was a tough decision, but maybe you can buy some D&D books. Great game.
Kath was never in my mind as someone that I was going to vote for. And while Vince played a great game, Kath was really blood, sweat, and tears. And I just really feel for that. And it made for a really intense, great game for all of us. So Kath is my choice.
I mean, I said it to them in person. I really didn't want it to be them too. And I can't stand to see her win. My vote, Ethan, is for Vince.
My vote has maybe flipped a dozen times.
All right, everybody. The votes are in. For the final time in this game, I will read the votes. Remember, you want to see your name on this card. These are votes for a winner. First vote, Vince. Second vote, Kath. Third vote, Vince. Fourth vote, Vince. 3 votes Vince, 1 vote Kath. Fifth vote, Kath. Sixth vote, Kath. That's 3 votes Kath, 3 votes Vince. Seventh vote, Vince. Eighth vote, Kath. That's 4 votes Kath, 4 votes Vince, 1 vote left. The winner of Zoom Survivor Season 6 Apocalypse is Vince. Congratulations, Vince. You are our sole survivor.
Holy shit.
Oh my God.
On a 5-4 vote, you win this season. I will be Venmoing you momentarily. Do you have anything to say?
Thank you guys. I don't know what to say. I genuinely thought it was going to be Kath. Once she owned her game at the end, I was like, that's all she needed to do. I thought it was a done deal. I just want to reiterate that I do genuinely care about everyone here. And thank you for voting for me. And those who didn't, you're dead to me. Never talk to me again. No.
Well, you guys, I could not have asked for not only a better finale, but a better season. I really had so much fun. Thank you all so much for participating. Congratulations to Vince. Congratulations to Kath, our runner-up, and to everybody else on such a great season. I'll be ending the Zoom call now. Thank you all so much, so much. This has been absolutely incredible. Incredible.
Thank you so much.
Yes, it truly was my pleasure. This was truly my pleasure. Have a great night, everybody.
Congrats, man.
Bye.
Congrats.